Hi everybody, Eric from Hit Subscribe here, and today I am going to be talking about the idea of writing a series of blog posts. This is another video in the client/prospect questions line of videos that I've been doing wherein I answer prospect and client questions. These are real questions that we as folks that run a content marketing agency will get from our prospects and clients. So if you would like to hear my take on whether you should write a series of blog posts, stay tuned. All right, so blog post series. Now, before I go any further, let me define this a little bit. When I talk about a series of blog posts, I'm not talking about a concept that you come up with for related blog posts, like maybe you were going to do your series on cars, and so you did one on the Ford Mustang and another one on the Chevy Camaro or something. Those are not what I mean by a series. I mean a series of actual like sequential blog posts. Like if you were going to do your blog post series on the history of the automobile, and you were going to title those blog posts History of the Automobile Part 1, History of the Automobile Part 2, and so on and so forth. So the question that we get a lot is, should we do a series of blog posts like this? And you do actually see that a lot in the wild on blogs, so it's a valid question. But unlike maybe some of the other videos we do, I will not bury the lead. Should you do this? Nope, don't do this. And I say this before you worry that I'm being overly judgmental of your ideas or anything. I, in my blogging career, actually early on, did a lot of these types of series. And so I'm going to cite both personal experience and what I've come to learn about content marketing is the reasons that you shouldn't do this. So first and foremost, let's look at this from a content marketing/SEO perspective. What you're doing if you write a series of blog posts that are thing part 1, thing part 2, thing part 3, you are competing with yourself in the search engine over and over and over again. So you're writing about the same topic as far as the search engine is concerned based on your titling of it. You're writing about the same topic again and again and again with, albeit like different information within the post, but the first thing the search engine sees about these is that you've written all these posts about the exact same topic as going by your title. So this puts you at a huge disadvantage when it comes to search engine rankings, and typically these posts are not going to do very well. What you would be much better suited to do, rather than naming the posts a very similar thing but with part, X afterwards, is come up with a thematic series where you're not naming them whatever part X, but you are kind of doing what I said in the beginning, which is my series on the car is going to look at all these different car make and models, for instance. So writing a post about the Chevy Camaro and writing another one about the Ford Mustang, even though you might roll these out as a series, you're not rolling them out sequentially as parts. So now what you've got is a related group of blog posts that kind of speak to a broader parent theme, but without competing with one another. You can talk about the Mustang and the Camaro separately and then kind of unify them if maybe you want to have later like an ultimate guide to cars or something like that. So from an SEO perspective, you don't want to talk about the same topic again and again. You don't want to break up what could conceptually be one gigantic post into a lot of smaller posts that couldn't really stand on their own. So that's a good rule of thumb, actually, in order to think about what you're doing with a series. Are you basically publishing are you writing a 10-part series because you want to make each part 1,000 words? If you're going to do that only, and it could be one gigantic piece of content, you're just breaking it up so that you have a different thing to publish each week, don't do that. Just publish the whole giant thing. You're going to rank for a lot of keywords with that giant piece of content, and the name for a piece of content like that is usually, well, if you're trying to compete with others in the space, you could think of this as what's called a skyscraper piece of content, but it is a giant piece of content that's probably going to do really well in the rankings. So don't dilute that. Don't break it up into a series of 10 posts that are smaller and they're all kind of about the same thing. Make it that one really big post. I get that you kind of worry about maybe we won't have enough ideas of things to post every week. It's a separate discussion. I might address that in a separate video, but keep that piece of content together. So that is the objection from like a content marketing and SEO perspective, but I can give you another one that you'll have to think about from just, a raw traffic perspective, which is that if you publish a series of blog posts. The interest in part 1 of the series is going to be sky high. The interest in part 2 will be a little bit less. And then from 3 on out, it kind of drops off pretty asymptotically to 0, where maybe you have 10%, if that, of the readers of the first post that actually stick with you through the whole series, and people start to get bored. I have seen this doing videos for my YouTube channel, Dead Tech. I did this 60-part series on test-driven development, and I could go and show you, and actually, why don't I do that? Here are a quick couple of screen caps of the viewership, for the first, for the second, and then, a miscellaneous post in the middle. The viewership dropped off. It is the same thing for series of blog posts that you do. You will get only a fraction of the readership engaged in part 12 that you did in part 1. And the reason for that, I think, and I'm hypothesizing here, but it's that people are maybe interested up front, but in terms of actually sticking it out in the way of commitment, you just don't get that much of it. And then when it comes to new readers or people who come in the middle, nobody sees that you've just published part 7 and thinks to themselves, oh, cool, you know what I'll do is I'll read part 7 and then I'll go back and read parts 1 through 6. It just seems like too much of a commitment to a casual reader. So they kind of just ignore those posts that go on your blog and they wait for different things. So those are the two main reasons I would say stay away from the part 1 through part N traditional blog post series. It does seem like a great way to always keep producing fresh content, so I can see why you would think that, but trust me, both as a content marketer and from personal experience, it doesn't work out very well in reality. And so, yeah, don't do that. I would heavily advise against it. If you want to have a series, pick a broad theme with like subcomponents and then just publish those as their own kind of standalone pieces. Don't publish things where your readers will have to have read the previous 8 in order to read number 9. I would stay away from that. All right, and that is going to do it for this particular video and this particular edition of us answering questions from clients and prospects. If you liked this video, I would absolutely love it if you would give it a like. That helps this channel, as it is kind of a baby channel and we're trying to get it to grow. It really honestly does help. That said, if you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down because we do want honest feedback. If you liked it enough that you want to see more of these when they come out, you can click subscribe down below and then make sure to hit that bell because that is what will help you get notified when new videos come out. And with that, I will leave you as I always do with a hearty thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.